What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a new podcast. Today, in this podcast, we will analyze a little bit of my music. Um, we'll analyze a little bit of my music. It could be a series that not a lot of people want to watch because it could be pretty boring, but I think it could be kind of interesting to see what's behind the mind of making it, and now break it a little bit more down before because I break it down a little bit on stream, but not as well, so I thought maybe a proper one. And it's basically an excuse for if I don't have an idea for a podcast, I can do something like this. So I think a small mini series in in the podcast format and like this kind of thing could be kind of interesting to see. So I have 3 songs picked out. It depends how long one of those take now to analyze, and yeah, we'll see how many songs we can actually fit in. Yeah, I have also trusty piano here to explain a little bit more of some note choices that I did. And yeah, we start with sunny rain, or whatever I thought by this name. Maybe I should explain firstly what this music should be. This music was made as a request from a teacher to make him something that he can like play with students, and he's playing the guitar, so the guitar part is a lot harder than all of the other things. I've made also an easier version that we can have a look into a little bit later. So this is like the version that's really advanced. So I'm not expecting that my teacher and stuff can actually play this. So I made the easier version where we have a look what changes and stuff. Yeah, and you heard it in the background now once. So let's go over it. What do we have here? We have oh, that's quite an interesting chord. So we have a G on the bass, then we have a D, G, and B. You didn't hear that really well, I hope. Okay, so I would guess yes. This is a G chord. It's a G chord. A G major chord where we put the G on the bass and put the upper D one octave down. Interesting chord. So yeah, it's a G chord. Oops. What did I do? And this X right here, in the music language for guitar, it's a ghost note. So maybe I can even show you that, what a ghost note should sound like. Because I have a guitar here. So basically, you instead of pressing the strings to the fretboard, you just have your hand like a little bit over it, so you don't really press on it. The sound goes out, it just blocks the note, and that's ghost note. In other cases, if you have it a little bit somewhere else, we'll do harmonics. Probably have to be careful which ghost note you're taking, because probably a harmonic will come out at some points. So that's the first chord. Then we have again. What do we have here? We have A on the bass. Oh, that's an interesting chord as well. Okay, okay. It looks like I would say an B major chord with the A on the bass, or the seventh, no, the ninth on the bass. This would be a minor, probably is a major, I'm not too quite sure. It's a weird chord, but it works somehow. I can't really tell you exactly what kind of chord that is. Actually, I can't. Wait. Maybe, could be. It could be probably. It also could be an F. Could be an not augmented. A modified F. F sharp minor chord. If that's even a chord. Listen guys, I don't know chords really well. That's not my speciality. The chord works, the chord works. And we have the ghost note again. Oh, by the way, the ghost note should be played as a slap note, so you can even slap a guitar. Oh wait, I think I remember what I wanted to do here. Yeah, I wanted a weird chord there to have a better chord to this, so what we have here, we have a B on the bass, and we have an F, an A, and a D. So there's probably I'd call that B reverse. B reversed instead of 15. Listen guys, never mind the chords, okay? It's an interesting chord for sure, but it's better for this transition. I mean, it could also, not a B reverse, what the fuck did I just say? I meant, it could be an F. That's an F major, then we have a B on the bass, and instead of a C we have a D. I mean, it could be an F major augmented with the B on the bass, or extended, something around those lines, if I would have to guess. And then we have a D as a bass, and having here an A minor chord with the 7th, an octave lower, and a B on the bass. Wait. Is it this? Yeah. It's the 7th, an octave lower, and a B on the bass. So I can't tell you what this chord is, or this chord, 100% sure, but I can tell you what the other ones are. Really interesting chords. So then we developed a theme here. Oops. Can I? No. Okay. So this is the theme for the first section. So for section A. Let's listen. Sorry. This is the theme. Yes. So this is the theme. And we have recurring a couple of times. Maybe I should also show the chords for a second alone. Okay, so then we have the theme. So here, this and this is just a third apart. So let's see, what do I play? Somewhere around that line. So it's just a third apart from each other. Gives it a nice harmony. Yes. You can see it there. The third. Then, because I got told the flute player is more advanced than the clarinet player, I just tried going a little bit ballsy here. Not too much of my usual style. That's a lot of like odd rhythm. Not a lot of this here because I didn't want to make it too hard. Still wanted to keep it relatively simple, but at the same time this actually could be too hard to play because it's too fast. Then the clarinet player, because she's not as good, or got told she's not good as that advanced, I just give her the act of playing a bass or to support what's going on here. Actually clashing here because it's a half tone off, but because it's so far apart, it doesn't really matter too much, or do I see things wrong? So this is a C, yes, and this is a B. Yeah, no, it should usually it would clash, but you can't really hear it too much. It's also quiet, it gets overtoned, but this actually should hear this clash, but it doesn't really clash too much too as well. And then we just have a simple improvised passing with having this note a little bit more on the slower part, so it's it's a note that we're ending on too, so it is. So we're landing on that note, so yeah, kinda interesting. Gives a little bit away on which note I want to end, if you want to see it like that. For me it's just like an odd rhythm putting in, because otherwise I would have had the same rhythm all the time, but I just don't like, because it's not usually my style, not changing the rhythm a little bit, so yeah. now with this. So she's just playing one note, holding that for 2 bars, basically. The reason why I changed here the time signature is because before I had in mind to change the time signature for this guitar part that's coming up. Okay, now listen to the main theme and the chords. Okay, so also the guitar is quite gentle, so clashes wouldn't be heard too much. You can definitely hear it. On the piano, but with certain instruments it doesn't really happen too much. You can't really hear every clash too much, basically. I also have to watch out with this chord, and specifically because if I'm not using this note, we're going to clash. So I just chose almost a third. It's not quite a third. It's like half a second, and that works. It doesn't clash too much. Doesn't clash too much. So that just works out. Then we're coming to a quite challenging guitar part because I hear my teacher is going to play it. I thought I could make it a little bit harder. I didn't realize that actually it's probably not possible to play, especially with this chord, because this is an open chord. If he finds a way to play it, do not play it open, so with all strings open, and he just taps the strings. It's a lot of tapping here. He said he's not too experienced with tapping, never practiced it really much. So I made it a little bit easier. I still have the tapping in, even in the second one, but I made it not as hard with the core rhythm and then the above rhythm. And yeah, it's just a lot of high notes. We have we obviously have here the sharp or the flat better. Yes, we have this note here, then we're going down again, and then we have a small chromatism part right here. So let's listen how the sounds. Very nice. It's not really too busy, so it actually works out quite well. I would say with a little bit of practice and a little bit like being a long time player, I think it wouldn't be too hard to actually tap that if you actually have practice tapping. I think the most problem is the core rhythm, because it's not a 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a let's see, it's a 1 and 2, 3, 4. So 1 and 2, 3, 4. Yes, I think no, it's a 1. It's a 1, 2, and 3, 4. Is that right? It's not a 1, 2, 3, but a 4. It's not a standard rhythm. So yeah. So it's a 1, 2, and 3 is also delayed, so it's again of another and. So it's 1, 2, and and It's not a usual rhythm that you hear. And then we're having everything back again. So also for this part, we put the dynamics on F. Also put the clarinet on P to make it quieter. Normally the flute and the clarinet are around the same volume and are on a little bit louder than the guitar that plays a little bit quieter. Whoops. Then we bring it back again that the guitar plays more gentle, and bring this back again to the normal frequency, normal volume. Yeah, frequency is good enough. Because we still have it here on P, and it doesn't change if you don't change the dynamics. So, what do we have here? We have the main phrase, the theme again that we established up here, but we just put a dotted rhythm in right here on the third note of the small passages to just make it interesting, to switch it up a little bit. See how it sounds. And here's a comparison, the first one. It's a minor change, but it's still subtle. And it's quite beautiful. So yeah. Then that's one of the things that I don't want to do with my instruments, is more or less not using them. It's a lot of it's a lot of times that I'm not doing something with drums because drums are still quite new, but I'm still trying them out here and there if I can. Otherwise I'm trying to not do a too simple drum line normally. Just keep it interesting. So what we have here is simple. This time I put the dynamics on the flute a little bit quieter to support the clarinet in this part. It's like a counter melody actually. We have a small counter melody going on, so let's listen to the first melody. And then we have the counter melody here. It's simple but works. But even if I could call it counter melody, I would say the flute in this part just plays more of a supporter role. So yeah, let's listen to the whole phrase from here with the chords. So then we have probably the hardest thing that is probably not going to be played on guitar from someone that's not really good at tapping and a lot of different things. This is probably the hardest guitar part, so that's the reason why I make it easier anyways. Just a high notes, then going down, going up again. Nothing really too special. I don't see any chromatism here, so yeah, let's just listen to it. Also dynamics on F again. So usually I would put a lot of dotted rhythm in there to make the melody a little bit more interesting. How I'm doing it here again, you see the rhythm now on the first and the third one. But I thought it would be easier if I would do it like this. to actually be able to play it, but it's not going to be played. I probably should have changed it, but I mean, it is okay. So I'll probably put the rhythm in here to get this note longer, then here one, probably here one too, and here some. So just making it a little bit more interesting than this constant 808s. Not really my style too much. Then we obviously have the dynamics change again in the guitar, and we have the dynamics again of normal for the flute and the clarinet. We're putting the first rhythm in, so it gives a completely different vibe again, but still the main theme is played again, and we have a little bit less of a counter melody going on down here. So let's listen firstly to the main theme. Very nice, very nice. It's definitely different than this one and this one up here. It just keeps it interesting if you want to bring a theme back, and it's not too complicated. Just change the rhythm a little bit and it will be interesting. I feel like if you're doing composition yourself, if you're doing instrumental music, then we have a little bit less of a counter melody here. We have the clarinet playing again more of a supportive role for the flute melody. Yeah, let's just do this. Let's see. It's kind of close to this one actually. And I'm restricting my statement. This is exactly the same thing, just a little bit higher. Then we have a different ending, basically. So a little bit lazy, but it's imitation. So we imitate this part, and also I'm guessing this part to here. And then we have different ending to it. So let's just do this whole phrase. So then we have the chords again, just playing one more time, and we're ending on a long chord for a transition into bass line on the guitar. So we have a slide here. So we have a slide here over just one note. Obviously, slides sound in real life a little bit different. Than in programs, because they can't really simulate the slide itself, because they're just playing the note there and don't really, well, this program can't, okay? There are probably programs out there that can. It's not really simulating the note passing through it, really. It's hard to explain. We just have a simple bass line. To loop it, 2 bars. I will play it 2 times before we bring something in. I'm not too happy with this melody, being honest with you. It just didn't work out as well as I thought it would. So we're starting off with the flute and having a transition note. This should be the same note, yes. So we have not a transition note. It's more like a note for the other person to continue on, and then we're ending on the flute again. So let's listen to this. Nothing too special, really. I like the ending, I don't like the beginning too much of it. It's not too hard to play, that was the main thing here, and it's a little bit hard to play to get into the beat, and it's a little bit hard to play here also to get into the beat. Oops, so let's listen to it with everything. So we have the bass line played one last time, and then we're going to change it to the flute and the clarinet switching off each other. The hardest part probably here is to get the first, like the fourth beat of the first takt, right? To get this note right. That's probably the hardest part here. So we have the easy part going for the clarinet because she's not as advanced. You have the little bit harder, quicker part for the flute, and yeah. We have the same note going on here. It's the same note. This is the same note. They're playing a little bit quiet because we're having an improv section in C major for the guitar. So yeah, let's listen to this transition. I think it's quite nice actually. Obviously the flute and the clarinet can't really do slides, so they're out. So now we're coming to this improv section. And I think we should just listen to the improv section first before I explain it and break it down. Perfect. Whoops. So she can play it on the piano. I think it's a very beautiful improv section that I put there. Nope. If I could now remember, wait, give me the first note. Okay. And the second one. Okay, now I remember, let's go. I'm not really good. I'm not a pianist, okay, so it's not really too good. It's not clean, I'm sorry, I'm not a pianist, but I think it's very, very, very nice guitar section, very nice improv. We have a lot of the rhythm here, so to change up the rhythm it shouldn't be just 808s because I think it's still not good. Then this here are harmonics, that's how you write harmonics. So we have two sets of harmonics. Then we're playing the initial notes for it. And then we're playing some more harmonics. One up, one down, and one up again. Then we have a small section that goes up. and goes down, and a little bit of an upwards down section. So it's like if you're playing notes, you're going up, but you're going with the scale down. And yeah, going up again, landing on the C because it's a C major, was then going perfectly into third to A. Very beautiful. I think it's really nice, but it's an impro section, so you don't have to follow those guidelines. You can do whatever you want as long as it's in C major. You can put slides, you can put in harmonics. Will be interesting what he will play, and now let's listen to the whole thing. Wait, one more thing. At the end, the guitar is playing the main, the bass, and it's playing before. But it's playing octave up, then before it could be even 2 octaves. I'm not too quite sure. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's 2 octaves up than before. Yeah. And he's playing with the flute and the clarinet. To the end, the last note is all the same, and it's a C. Okay, let's listen to this whole thing. And the last note is holding to let it die out a little bit. Can't really emulate it in this too well, so yeah. That would be the breakdown for this piece. Let's listen to the whole thing one more time as a whole, and I think it's quite nice. So here's Sunny Rain. Very nice, very nice. So, here are just some things. We also play this bassline 2 times as we did this one the first time as it appears. And now we will switch to the easy version and we see its side by side comparison. So, see you in a second. So, welcome back. Now we have the second version right here. I think should be right. Yes. So we have the easy version on the right side, and we have the hard version. So firstly, or like the intended version, let's have a quick. That would be quick. It won't take too long. We have this part easier. Let's see it side by side. Perfect, and here we go. So not much change really, just have a lot of passing notes more or less going away, so it sounds still beautiful. The next change is in the guitar, right here. So instead of having a chord, we have a bass line that you tap with the normal things that you tap. Just listen to it also side by side. We heard that a little bit earlier. And yeah, not a lot of change, just the bass line to support what's going on top, and also make it more interesting. Next change should be this guitar line. Again, this one's way too hard, so we have the bass line, the same bass line we had before. I believe so. It should be the same bass line that you would tap, and just getting rid of the chords and the weird chord rhythm that we have there. Maybe I should also mention real quick why it's called Sunny Rain. So I made Dark Regen, what is Dark Rain if you translate it from German to English. And so I thought, well, just make a small little detail in all the time, or every time I'm getting a request from my teacher to make a piece for him, that just call it something with rain. Doesn't matter what, something with rain. And well, that's also already the last change. There's not much to it. All of the other stuff is not changed. So let's go to the next piece. I see you in a second. Okay guys, what's going on? Firstly, I'm sorry about the background noise. My new PC, I'm just testing him. It's quite loud actually, so sorry about that. Also, I saw the length already of the first part, and I was like 40 minutes. I probably talk around another 45 or 30 minutes. So we'll probably just release the second part. We're talking about the second piece. Well, in 2 weeks again. So yeah, sorry about this noise, it's quite loud, and it's just standing on my thing. And I also didn't know that I didn't really check how quiet or loud the melody, like the music was, so that was a little bit too quiet too, so I know for the next time. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Didn't want to bore you for like 1.5 hours with just music theory, so I'll see you around. Bye.